video talking about is white guilt. That the Shiloh Hendrix thing, her calling folk niggers, oh, that's white guilt is over. So it was another person who did that. Go to this channel, look it up if you want to. But yeah, this is what they're, see the strategy there. Maybe we can knock down all the dominoes, fellas. You're getting overly ambitious.
This bread right here is good as a motherfucker.
This is how you end up vomiting all this at the same time, and you just kind of wash it all away.
Oh man,
just
I forgot to put salt and pepper in there.
If you're gonna choose a target, choose just one. And then if you're gonna choose a target, you have to choose a righteous one. These clowns are literally the Injustice League. What? Think about this for a few moments. We're the good guys. Call people niggers. They are literally the League to the Doom. They are literally the Injustice League. I mean, those of you who read comic books as children, you told yourselves, when you got older, nobody really want to be the Injustice League. I mean, no one would really want to be that. That's what they're all thinking. No one would really want to be it. No one would really want to say, we're the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. A little too on the nose, don't you think? I mean, do we really want to be evil? Really? And you told yourself, Stan Lee and them, oh, that was just overly simplistic thinking. No one would actually want to be the, quote, Injustice League. We are the proponents of injustice. First of all, it's not even a catchy name, but who wants to do that one? No, but that ain't gonna work. Matt Walsh and Tim Pool. What's your hammer up there, Tim? I'm hammering up the Injustice League sign up here on top of the door. All right. We're gonna need a longer door sill up here. I mismeasured how long the word injustice would be. We're gonna need a slightly longer sill up here. This is literally where we're at today. These guys are literally the Injustice League. Because if you can't be proud of what you're doing, notice something. The whole thing that calls them out is to say, by the way, so you're proud to say that, because if you're not proud to say it, then what are you defending? Because if I can't be proud with you, then this is pathetic. You're the bad guy. And they're like, okay, say hi to the bad guy.
This is delicious. Oh, man.
Say hi to the bad guy. So if anyone was wondering if white supremacy is a psychosis, this is proof positive. But don't worry, Musty Matt ain't done yet.
Respecting pronouns is another one. These are all rules that can't be defended, can't be justified. They can't even really be coherently explained. People follow them anyway. Until one day, a few people, and then a few more, and a few more, stop and say, hey, wait a minute. Why are we doing this exactly? Why is this a rule? Who is this for? Who does this benefit? Who made this up? Why?
A basketball on.
Start asking questions. The game is over.
Okay, actually, the game is not over, man. Only for you and the 2 brain cell IQ individuals you hang out with in that ADHD cesspool that you call a life over there. It's very easy to debunk this, people. To understand white supremacists only talk to each other, and they're the dumbest people in the room. So, very, very clear. Let's explain a couple of things right here. If you went to Israel and you started making fun of
Boxing.
the Munich Olympics, where they murdered all those Jewish athletes, something about to happen. If you are a Palestinian and you go into Israel and start making derogatory Jewish terms and telling them about October 7th, something gonna happen. And the reason for that is because those words are not simply words. Those are words tied from a group, tied to specific acts of violence. So words are the precursor of verbal violence, precursors of physical violence. So Matt Walsh is trying to gaslight you because this is what white supremacists do. If you go to Japan and start making jokes about their eyes and dropping the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, something's going to happen, because Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not just events, they were physical things that happened. And if you are an American, specifically a white American, going over to Japan in that manner, you are crossing a line. If you go to Italy, there are terms that Italians call each other that you would be very well advised to understand. They can say that amongst each other. You have the freedom to speak. You also have the freedom to gain the consequences. You go to Italy and there's a word that rhymes with free fall. You go say that to Italians. You go among them and talk that way. And see what happens.
Go ahead and make it.
Go amongst the Irish. Go amongst the Irish in Boston, in Philadelphia, in New York. Go amongst the Irish. And start using words that rhyme with king. And see what happens. Oh, you have the freedom to say those words. You certainly do. You also have the freedom to accept the consequences. I can name any number of words that would happen with. That you are just some kind of fool. You are obviously asking for trouble. You're supposed to be smart enough not to do that. Now, folks keep using a phrase in the chat room, and that shows you how smart my audience is, because fighting words is actually a legal precedent. The law has always acknowledged that you can't just go around just saying certain words in certain situations. That causes issues. So Matt isn't playing dumb, he actually is. What he also is a white supremacist who's saying things that he knows are categorically false because he's trying to justify his white supremacist behavior. But you can go around the world, and there are terms and words that you cannot use, either because of who you are and where you come from, because those words have a different significance coming from you, or because of the people that you're talking to. Either you're not one of them, or you come from a background where that word is weaponized. Now, this is not new. This is not new at all. By the way, Musty Matt,
I definitely would love to get some more of
what
that
he's really
bread.
trying to do is he's going to be first in the door. He figures he's made enough money that even if it all got cut off tomorrow, he's have enough money to blow for the rest of his life. So what good is it if you're not willing to cash all in for white supremacy? So that's the real reason why he's decided to just crash all the way out there.
People who benefited from the game, like you, always react the same way. You get angry, you panic, you make threats. I understand. People were cooperating, now they aren't, and that's always frustrating and kind of jarring for the proponents of the incoherent, indefensible rule. But you don't actually need to panic. You know, there is another way to respond. You could just say this. Here's what you could say.
Of all people, from Matt Walsh, Matt Dysfunctional, Incoherent Walsh, trying to give advice. Okay, this is rich.
Yes. Obviously, it's totally wrong and insane for anyone to be physically harmed
Hear
over
that
a
animal over there?
And yes, if I say the word, then I cannot rightly tell anyone else to not say it. That's a basic rule of life. You cannot do something and then tell other people not to do it.
Do you see the way he's yelling now, folks? I mean, this is how dedicated to white supremacy he is. He didn't do this with Megyn Kelly when she sat up here and clowned him like Barnum and Bailey Circus. This is a real issue. This is the core issue right here that motivates him. White supremacy and the ability to execute it with impunity and to victimize other people. This is it right here. He's letting you know This is all the marbles. This is what it's all about.
Saying for anyone to be physically harmed over a word. And yes, if I say the word, then I cannot rightly tell anyone else to not say it. That's a basic rule of life.
What's your name got her,
and then tell other people not to do it. So instead, you might say, why don't we all just refrain from saying it for the same reason in the same way that most of us try to refrain from using any other slur?
Angela Bassett, thank
Okay,
God.
folks, I got a question right here. Hey, Mangy Mac,
She's in
I heard you're married. Why anyone would do such a thing as subject themselves to
I'm
that,
cool,
either they're fellow
man.
white supremacists or held captive. Hey, Matt, I got a question, though. Are there any words or names that you can call your wife that I can't call her? What? Hey, Mangy Matt, I wonder, are there any pet words or pet terms that you call your wife or your children that you would not approve of me calling them? Baby, sweet cheeks, honey mama, whatever cornball stuff you got going on over there. I don't know white supremacists. Tell me what it is, man. I would like to know what that is. I strongly suspect that there are terms and words that you call your wife that if I'm standing in front of her, that you wouldn't approve of me calling her. Now, would you, Matt? Somebody said flat cakes. I strongly suspect that you would not approve of that. I'm pretty sure that your pet terms for your wife, if you called her, hey, baby, and then I walked up to her and she said, hi, Jason. I said, hey, baby. Why, Matt, so what Matt's going to say is that he wouldn't respond? Well, you know what? If everybody can't say the word, then no one can say the word. People, white supremacists are not smart. They're not brilliant. They're like dope fiends. They're like dudes on marijuana. They just think they're brilliant. They sit around, they hit the bong, they get stoned out of their minds. They sit around and intellectualize this garbage to each other. No one ever questions it. They're in their constant perpetual ADHD echo chamber. And then you walk down here in the real damn world, got your ass handed to you on contact. Talk about reason and logic. I just debunked the whole damn thing. Didn't take me but half a second to do so. Hey, Matty Boy, Musty Matt, Tiny Tim. By the way, if these are just words, then you wouldn't have any problem with me addressing your wife the same way. Now, would you? Oh, yeah, if you're going to tell me that I can't say it, well, then none of us should say it. Oh, but I have a special relationship to my wife. Oh, interesting. Well, you were not respecting other people's special relationships. Why, you were claiming that that was just white guilt. So, Matt, bring your little wife on over here so I can go ahead and tell her some of those nice little pet terms you name. And we're not going to have any black guilt. You're not going to shame us. We're not going to accept any black guilt. That is, if you were going to be rational and consistent, which of course you won't. Oh boy, there's a whole bunch of white supremacists out there right now. I mean, just absolutely seething. Absolutely seething. And to reiterate, there's nothing wrong with being white. Being white is not an issue. There's everything in the universe wrong with being a white supremacist. There's everything in the universe wrong with that. And guys like Matt, this is all about power, which for them is abuse. It's all about how do you justify abusing other people? And their justifications are never solid. They've never been since 1690. They've never been solid. This is about wink, wink. We all know why we're doing this. Wink, wink. The other thing thing is, when he said people stop cooperating, when did they ever cooperate? What the hell are you talking about? These guys are just fabricating things. They start writing their own fan fiction during their videos. It's really incoherent. It's psychotic. It's like talking to Norman Bates and Ted Bundy about, you know, what they really did. It's like talking to the Joker. New reality every time you speak to him. So that was Matt right there. Okay, we are cooking with napalm here. So I've been through a few of those there before. Now I want to go a little bit further. Now. Because you see, there's a reason why I told you all that we're going to sit back in the cut. We're going to sit back in the cut and we're going to watch these things. Because it's very crucial that we make sure we get everybody who is involved with this. Everyone who's involved. Very important that we do this. Because this hits across a whole bunch of corners. YouTube and the internet. Remember, the internet was founded on two things. Pornography and white supremacy. For those of you who are too young to remember the early days, although even today now, you even know it, the internet, the public internet, CompuServe and all that, AOL, the public internet was founded on pornography and white supremacy. Late 80s through the 90s, the biggest websites on the internet were porn and white supremacist websites. These two, they couldn't get access to broadcast media, couldn't get access to corporate media. They flooded the internet. The internet was mostly pornography and white supremacists. It really has only been in the last 20, 25 years that other media started to outnumber that. But don't ever be deceived.
Let's get on this.
The public internet, the commercial internet, was wholesale white supremacists and pornography. Wall to wall to wall. So much so to the point that the reason why Google, the first thing that made Google have a more sophisticated algorithm was because the pornographers used to be doing little dirty tactics to get people to come to their websites. For example, Mickey Mouse.
Compliment to
Don't believe me? Google it for yourselves. For those of you who are too young to remember, those of us who were there, remember Google had to filter for things like Mickey Mouse, and they had to redo their algorithm to prevent typing in the word Mickey Mouse in Google or Google Images from taking you to a porn site. Because that's what they were doing. The porn sites were sitting up here rigging it so if you typed in Mickey Mouse, cartoons and things, it would take you to the porn sites. White supremacy believes in targeting children. There's a reason why they're all in lockstep about this, because heinous, demonic bastards,
there,
they believe in targeting children. They'll sit up here and tell you about defending girls and boys' bathrooms, out of girls' bathrooms.
Got me for
These
a
are the
piece
most
of bread.
child-victimizing. I'm talking about from pedophilia and everything else. These are folks who victimizing children means nothing to them. They target kids. And they have since the very beginning. This is how white supremacy
Somebody
works.
took a taste out of my strawberry shortcake.
But there are corners of white supremacy, and one of the corners of which I have been one of the most vocal advocates and proponents about has been the so-called manosphere. Manosphere. Now the media wants to say something about here. Everyone knows since day one, I have always called out the manosphere for its white supremacist overtones. The manosphere, which was started by white guys who started the whole thing, it seemed to have one label, but as usual, it's never about what they claim it's about. Everything always boils back down to white supremacy. No matter what they're advocating for, working out, diet, fitness, dating, relationships, television, media, video games, when you start boiling it, it always distills down at its core. They always like, now, what are we going to do about these things? And, of course, the number of YouTube channels with it is absolutely overwhelming. There was one in particular here, and YouTube does everything they can to boost these folks in the algorithm because that is the goal of the job. That is the goal of the job, and that is their mission. There's one in particular, Legion of Men. Wait till you hear this right here, and this one should go a little ominous for a bunch of other folks out there. Now, this is a channel that's supposed to be talking about dating and the manosphere and the problem with women and get your passports. This is what this channel is supposed to be about. We shouldn't be talking about race, and damn sure shouldn't be talking about Shiloh Hendricks. But guess what he goes veering off the road into on a so-called manosphere dating YouTube channel? Wait till you see what this one goes off to.
Like Nicaragua, fucking Costa Rica, whatever. Then it's fine. Totally cool. But when you're white and try to be proud about something, you can't. So in our Western society, you can't have patriotism. You can't have nationalism. You have to import people because making more white babies is bad. You can't talk about the degeneration of society in the context of progressive values and rabid liberal individualism that's absolutely corrupted every institution at its core, with ideologies that are not rooted in biology in the natural world anyway. You can't say that we need to move in lockstep with one another, that we need to band together, that we need to secure the existence of our XYZ, whatever Western country you want to say you're from.
You can't say we want to secure the future. The 14 words by white supremacist killer David Lane. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. Folks, this is YouTube. This is YouTube. This is a video up on YouTube right now. A manosphere channel now that's supposed to be talking about women and dating. And yes, you all can hear his accent. By the way, you can hear his accent, so you know he's not a native-born American citizen. So you can hear his accent, and yet he's going full bore on white supremacy. People, it's just that deep for him.
With ideologies that are not rooted in biology in the natural world anyway. You can't say that we need to move in lockstep with one another, that we need to band together, that we need to secure the existence of our XYZ, whatever Western country you want to say you're from. I found out recently, just reading into history and stuff, because I find this conversation fascinating, especially what's going on with that Shiloh woman and this racial baiting shit that's going on with the GoFundMes and all this shit. That's an interesting conversation for the culture. But I found out recently that the term melting pot in the United States was created around the time, or I should say, it was created by a dude named Israel Zangwill, something like that, in the year 9.
Y'all remember what Chris Rock said, never scared? He says, okay, you gotta watch when you hear these folks talking about patriotism out of nowhere. Patriotism. And Chris Rock said, that's my ears go up. Because I know niggas and Jews is next. Oh, that train is never late. That train is never late. So first he's talking about patriotism and nationalism, and next thing you know, he takes a swipe at black folk, and here we come. By the way, and not them Jews. Oh man, y'all, he's hitting all the Nazi talking points, and this is a YouTube channel with 567,000 subscribers that YouTube blew up and inflated. This is what YouTube loves. You don't get there by accident. You can't get that many subscribers if YouTube doesn't give you that. You can't have this many subscribers if YouTube don't give you this many. YouTube has to give you that many. They have to make sure you're on the front page and that they keep promoting you over and over and over and over and over again. You can't get this number of people if you're shadow banned. You cannot get this many followers if you are shadow banned on YouTube. If they actually have a problem with it, you never make it this far. So you got 567,000 subscribers. YouTube boosts this. They make sure this is out there. You won't be away from it. Take a look at what he's promoting.
States was created around the time, or I should say, it was created by a dude named Israel Zangwill, something like that, in the year I don't know, it's like early 1910, 1908, something like that. Early, dude. Before the 1920s. America was like predominantly white. And they were having conversations then if Italians were even considered white, if Irish people were even considered white. So that the whole term of melting pot with the United States was, it was amongst the quote white races. I swear to you, check this. Look it up. You can look it up because that's what it was. It was a melting pot of let's accept Italians as white, let's accept the Irish as white, let's accept the less white races because America was predominantly white back then as white. Right, let's all be a melting pot, obviously by a dude named Israel. So, you know, go look into that rabbit hole if you want. Who benefits from being called a melting pot? You know, when the state of Israel didn't exist, so you're seen as an outsider anyways. You're people with no land, and you know that kind of messaging probably is super advantageous for you when people are nationalistic, when are very much so patriotic about their blood, where they come from, their nation, their country, and you're seen as an outsider, people with no land, yada yada. So that's a historical fact that you gotta go look into yourself. But it threads into our current future. Our society today is exactly functioning, I don't know if I'd say as intended, but as a direct result of 2 world wars in Europe. Those shaped the culture, the way of life, the economic foundations.
2 world wars. Oh boy, I wonder if we're about to veer off into Nazi Germany here. Oh, these YouTube channels try to hide those words, and we don't do that over here. I wonder if we're about to take a detour now off into Nazi Germany and full white supremacy and I wonder if that's where we're about to go. Folks, on the channel, he explains the reality of why everyone is single now. That's the name of the video. This is supposed to be about women. And before it's over, you get a great big huge heaping teaspoon, tablespoon, soup ladle, paint bucket of white supremacy mixed in with your manosphere mayo ballot.
And the policy that we are living under today. But people think that so far in the past that that's history, that it has nothing to do with the way of life that we have today, with the rot, with the degradation and degeneration of society. I would argue that it's even more important today to look back during those times and see what happened then and how that led to the world we're living in today.
Well, that's interesting because white supremacists, suspected white supremacists like you, if we bring up slavery, you would tell us, well, that was a long time ago, and therefore it's not bearing on today. That's what you would say. That's what all the suspected white supremacists and white supremacists say. They tell us that slavery and segregation, hell, civil rights, they would tell us, well, that was a long time ago, and like 40 years ago. Long time ago there. That doesn't have any bearing on today. People are always going back to ancient. That doesn't matter today, and yet here he is telling you that, oh, no, this World War II is still affecting us today. Okay, then segregation, Jim Crow, civil rights, yeah, that's still affecting us today, too. Oh, no, you folks just lying.
Just saying. Those are just historical facts. The guy that I'll double check this, I'll look this up, just to be 100% sure. Okay. So the term melting pot as a metaphor describing the United States fusion of cultures was popularized by playwright, it says Israel Zangwill, through his play titled The Melting Pot, first performed in 1908. Israel was a British author of Jewish heritage who wrote The Melting Pot to reflect America's identity as a nation, absorbed and integrated immigrants from a diverse ethnicity into a new unified American culture. So, you got tons of British coming over, tons of Irish coming over, tons of Italians coming over, Germans coming over, and all the other countries from old world Europe had a bunch of migrants coming over to America for a new start. And that created the new unified American culture. That's what they meant by melting pot. But I've heard it used today as a argument for what American identity is, as if we have no identity, we are a melting pot. And that anybody who comes from any land, anywhere, at any time, like that we're arguing with the poorest order, that those can be Americans too. That what is an American anyway? Very interesting. So, there you go. A
guy with an accent that thick wants to lecture us on what being an American is. Nobody ever said that white supremacists were smart. Like you told me. Nobody said they were smart. Nobody said they were brilliant. They have you thinking, oh, they must be smart, but no, they're not. No, it isn't. They believe things. They don't know things. They just believe things. Black this, Jew that. But speaking of which, however, very interesting we would have that there because take a look at who weighed in on Shiloh Hendricks. Why, folks, it is none other than the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. Now, there's no word on whether or not they're going to give her the Kanye West treatment. Now, there's no word on whether or not they're going to give her the Kanye West treatment. But rather encouraging to see that the ADL has decided to weigh in on this. They certainly have been in need of image rehabilitation over the last couple of decades here, but the ADL wants you to know that white supremacists helped raise hundreds of thousands for a woman who hurled slur at black child. Oh, let's dig a little deeper. Over the last week, white supremacists, anti-Semites, come on, man, and racists have been supporting a woman accused of calling a black child a racial slur by helping to coordinate her donation drive and raising hundreds of thousands of dollars. They have leveraged the fundraising campaign to spread hateful talking points and legitimize their ideas. The woman, identified in media reports as Shiloh Hendricks. By the way, what is Shiloh Hendricks' ethnic racial background, I wonder?
All right, man.
Was depicted in the video, began circulating on social media on April 28, 2025, allegedly accosting, folks, we got the damn thing on video. She admitted to it. Allegedly, she admitted it. She literally, the guy asked her, will you come? Yeah, I sure did. But that's not alleged anymore. Accosting a black 5-year-old at a playground in Rochester, Minnesota. Don't you mean autistic? 5-year-old. In the video, the man recording asked the woman if she called the child a nigger, and she responds by hurling the slur at the man recording as well. This is not very great here. She responded by admitting that yes, she did, and then calling the man that also. On May 1st, 2025, a crowdfunding campaign was created on Gibson Go, a prominent facilitator of extremist crowdfunding to raise funds for Hendricks. It is unclear who was authentically involved in creating the campaign, although several ex-users known to promote extremist and anti-black rhetoric have since claimed shared responsibility for coordinating the effort. They assert that Hendricks will be the primary recipient of the funds, and the Give Send Go campaign page indicates this is the case. The Give Send Go campaign immediately went viral on X, and the link to the page was mentioned over 25,000 times in the days that followed the circulation of the video. As of this writing, the campaign has received over $700,000 of its $1 million goal from over 26,500 donors, with many of the donation comments commenting white supremacist, racist, and anti-Semitic messaging, names, and denominations. A COE review of 23,409 donations as of May 4th, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. For the Give Send Go campaign found that 13,031 or 56% of donations included a comment and a name. The remaining contributors left the space for this information blank. Further review of the donations with a comment and or name found that 3,935 or roughly 30% included white supremacist, racist, or anti-Semitic content. The comments and donation names
Just said that he was
How much is
not
your car accident really worth? How much will a personal injury attorney cost? How do I know if I even have a case? These are
Right. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. We're going to skip the preliminaries, this videos, and get right into the proceedings. An eyewitness has come forth to confirm what I told you earlier this week, that Rodney Hinton was not the driver of the vehicle that killed the deputy in Cincinnati, Ohio. I want y'all to take a look at this right here. This is a Facebook post, and you see LaShawn Hankerson, and she is the eyewitness who saw it. You see her reply, I promise to God I made a post, and everything the man was unconscious in the passenger seat. and it was an older lady driving. They kept asking who the driver was. She kept hysterically crying and falling out like she was in shock. She did that. They are trying to do that man in. I literally tried to get him out the car. He was stuck and not clean out, airbags out, and all. And I'm going to show you another couple of posts from that same Facebook thread. Now, remember last week I told you that I received some inside information from a couple of sources that said there was a lady driving that vehicle that killed the deputy in Cincinnati after Rodney Hinton Jr. left the police department. Now, this post also pokes holes in the DA's, the police, the sheriff's theory in their timeline that they released to the public after indicting him on the charges and saying that they were going to seek the death penalty for our young brother. Now, after LaShawn made this post, the girl asked her, look, why don't you go down there and tell them what you saw? And this is her response. No love, Tila. If they aren't using cameras for evidence, they sure TF aren't going to listen to a black woman with a record. It was several of us right there that witnessed this issue. They didn't even care about the dude in the car. Me and one other lady was trying to help him. They didn't care about the black dude, only the officer. And again, I'm going to show you her original post. But remember, this happened supposedly by the University of Cincinnati during graduation time, whatever. And she made a valid point. If all of this happened, where are the cameras? Where are the stoplight cameras? Where are the cameras from the associated business or the business in close proximity? Where are the satellite cameras? All of these times that we see accidents and people running from the police and accidents at traffic stops and people running people over, there's always video footage. Why is there no video footage of this accident? Like, there's no coverage even after the accident. You know, when the ambulances are out there, only thing they are showing you is that still picture of the car and the crash. They are no showing you no ambulance footage, no getting people out of the cars. Think about it. This makes what my information given me totally true. Because once again, why are they not showing anything but a narrative? And this is the original post that the young lady put up. Now, I think this has since been taken down. She said, I was literally right there with my effing kids in the car, I assume, with me. I got out to help once I seen I could not do anything. I started crying, and this other lady was praying and grabbed my arm and wrist, and we both started praying while looking at the sheriff, and it was an old lady driving, not no dude. They are lying. This is sad. Now, this is her sharing the post of, you know, that news post that highlighted the crash. Look at that. That's all we have seen. Now, mind you, this is probably from a video. This still shot is in the air. So this is probably from a video, a stop camera light, a satellite video. So why are they not, we have to ask ourselves, why are they not showing us any video proof of the accident? Now, she also corroborates. The other day, I think it was yesterday, I showed the video with the young brother, Rodney Hinton Jr. was walking into the police station. You see him getting out of the car. He's in a hospital gown. He's blurry. He's incoherent. He literally tells the officers, where am I? Where am I? And he's currently charged with something that he was literally a passenger in the car. Now, also, this collaborates, or this proves that what they are saying in their newly released timeline, that they are lying, because it contradicts what they're saying, that what they've said at the beginning of the whole ordeal. Now, you remember the beginning, they told us that Rodney Hinton went to the police department. He watched the video. He got upset and left the building, and no one ever saw him until they got word of the crash. Now, go back and watch the original news articles about this. That is what they said. But this is what they said about 2 days ago when they indicted him for the charge. It says 9:33 a.m. Hinton arrived at the police department. 9:51, Hinton got upset and left the building. 10:37, Hinton left with family members instead of his own car, which he drove there. 12:41, which is about an hour and a half later, Hinton returned to pick up his car. Hinton left. Hinton returned to the police department and drove through the parking lot. How do you know that was Hinton driving, right? 12:50, Hinton left again and headed towards University of Cincinnati campus with his family following him the entire way. Now, mind you, once again, if you go back to the first videos of this incident, they said Hinton left the police department and nobody heard from him. Listen, like, one thing about a lie, you have to continuously change and keep up with the lie to make that lie outlive the truth. Apparently, this lie is not going to outlive the truth. Remember, they said Hinton left the meeting, was so distraught, and nobody ever heard from him since the time of this accident. But here they're telling you he left with a family member, he came back, he left again, he walked out distraught, he drove around the parking lot, he left his car, he returned it. None of this was said before. You see how they are trying to create the narrative as they go. Pretty much, I'm white and I say so. This is what happened, regardless of how many people are saying. And once again, I'm going to show you the actual page. Look at this actual page now. And y'all see this. Let me see. I'm gonna minimize myself so y'all can see it in its entirety. Now, this is an actual Facebook page, Sean Hankerson. Now, it looks like she have deleted her page. But this is said, so they're covering up. Listen, I was literally right there with my child in the car. I got out to help once I seen I couldn't do anything. I started crying, and this other lady was praying and grabbed my arm and wrist. And we both started praying while looking at the sheriff, and it was an old lady driving, not no dude. They are lying. And here's somebody else referencing what she said. And look at his face. As she mentioned, the airbags hit him. Look at the top and the right side of his face. The airbags come out on the right side if you are on the passenger side. And so this is what I mean by the media lying and creating narratives. If this accident was so horrific, where is all the video footage of the ambulance on the scene, police on the scene, the white sheets, the yellow? None of that has occurred, right? Why are they hiding the actual footage from the scene? There is no coverage of this incident on the scene except the picture that you see everywhere, just a crash car. And it's the same thing that they are doing with Ryan Hinton Jr. They're stopping and stealing the frames. They're showing the picture. The only live footage that they're showing you is the officer running up right before he quote unquote shot out young brother. They're stealing the camera while the young boy's laying down the gun. Oh, this is where he stopped and tripped and he got back up and he picked up the gun. No, don't tell us what happened. Show us the video so we can determine that for ourselves. So this is breaking. Somebody just sent me this last night. You see, I'm out of my element, but I still had to do this because once again, they are trying to railroad my brother. And you can tell that they know. If you listen to that lady in the press conference the other day, that DA, she's just, he came and, he come and, even when they're trying to charge him with 2 counts of aggravated murder for the chain charges, not 2 different counts like aggravated murder or involuntary manslaughter or murder in the first degree. No, they charge him with 2 counts of the same charge. That means there are 2 deaths, and according to the person I received, that lady who was allegedly driving the vehicle has since passed. But they are using our brother as a scapegoat, and that's why I believe that they have not put him under the jail. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. That's why they haven't buried him under the jail for being the cause of one of their fellow officers' death. I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows, and you can tell in the press conference, they look at their eyes. Just look at their eyes and how soulless they are, because they are making and loving a lie. As Revelation 22 and 15 states, outside the city, outside the people of God are murderers, fornicators, sorcerers, sorcery, witchcraft. This is what they're using to play with our mind. Dogs, and those who make it and love it a lot. So this, once again, shout out to LaShawn Hankerson. If you're watching this program, I know you see it, feel free to call me. We can do an interview online, offline, faceless or faceless. But I think, since this has happened, you see, that it looks like, that page has been deactivated. Now, we all know how they neutralize witnesses. As I mentioned with the eyewitness that saw Ryan Hinton lay down the gun before he was shot, he said he called the police station and was like, hey, yeah, I saw what happened. He didn't have a gun. He laid the gun down. And they're trying to get him to come in and interrogate him like he had something to do with it. That's the way he said that they made him feel. And so since then, he was like, no, I'm not coming down there. Who can I talk to besides y'all? Because once again, we know that the police lie. We know that they protect their own. We know that they create narratives. They plant guns. They create stories. They neutralize witnesses. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is history. This is documented history throughout time. They have covered up. They have lied. They have misrepresented reports. They have done all of these things. So this is another instance. Once again, we got to pray for our brother, because when you can see it in that, like, he doesn't know where he is. According to this witness, once again, I'm going to show it to you again. I promise to God, I made a post. Everything, that man was unconscious in the passenger seat. Once again, why is there no camera footage of the after effects of the accident? Never in a million years you don't see any live footage of the accident. People walking around, people crying, oh my God, them talking to witness. I saw it come across the street. Where is all of that? Y'all take this information and do what you will with it. But as always, Ephesians.
Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up.
You are unlawfully obstructing pedestrian traffic. You are ordered to disperse now to permit the safe flow of pedestrian traffic. If you do so voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to disperse, you may be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct. This is the New York City Police Department. You are unlawfully obstructing pedestrian traffic. You are ordered to disperse now to permit the safe flow of pedestrian traffic.
Is at the center of a new lawsuit. Cody Greenland, the man being tackled, is suing the American Fork Police Department for excessive use of force.
Yeah, this is the video right here. Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph spoke with him along with his attorney today and breaks down this police body camera video.
Makes me shake, gets me scared, nervous, upset.
The man in this video is Cody Greenland. On the afternoon of April 17th, 2020, he was confronted by officers. Complying, he got to his knees, and then he was blindsided. Here's the view from that officer.
I could feel Officer Cannon coming. I could hear his equipment on him. I got hit in the spine by his knee. It like knocked the wind out of me instantly.
He was then hit repeatedly.
I might have been scared, but I wasn't trying to attack them.
Monday, he and his attorney, Robert Shikes, filed a lawsuit against the American Fork Police Department.
You saw him on the ground, hands up. No need to tackle him from behind. You can't tase a non-violent misdemeanor.
Don't tase me, no more. You can't move your arm. You can't respond to what they're telling you to do when you're being tased like that.
Greenland says he was in the parking lot at his girlfriend's car. He tried to open it, but it was locked. After getting snacks from a nearby Dollar Tree, he then walked back to the car.
They had a call saying that somebody was trying to break in the car. So I guess that's why they were there, maybe for that.
That's footage from my car accident, and I'm about to show you how I turned that into a 52.
Accusations of a wrongful arrest now at the center of a lawsuit against a local police department. The arrest in question was caught on video by the family's Ring video camera. KPRC2 Sabir Rayford live tonight at League City PD with
League City Police Chief Gary Ratliff is in reference to this.
Tell me what I did. You have a warrant out for your arrest for interference with public
It all started with a fender bender on September 2nd. Hall's wife Rachel says she was leaving her gym when another driver backed into her car. She says because the driver backed into her, she got the man's information, and they agreed not to call police and to handle it using it.
Welcome to News 2 at 4. I'm Mark Kelly.
And I'm Alex Dennis. Terrified.
You know, at that particular point, you know, they were gonna just kill me.
It was a Thursday night in November of 2019.
Oh, well, let's go down Metro for a murder suspect.
Undercover Metro police officers were tracking a car they believed had a homicide suspect inside.
Officers in Metro are not pursuing. They did try to initiate a stop and he took off.
That's when instead officers began following Ralph Ward, with Nolensville police assisting, capturing this body camera footage, showing what unfolded next as Ward stopped at a liquor store on his way home from work. With guns drawn, Ward was ordered to the ground and arrested.
It was 8 or 10 of them that night, you know, and just one of me. What did I do? What did I do?
The turn of events still haunts his mind, fearing for his life.
And the first thing that's going through my head was, I'm not going to see my family for Thanksgiving.
Assuring the officers they had the wrong guy.
We lit you up on 65 North. No, you didn't. You took off. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I promise you. I didn't even come out on 65. You all right?
Ward had proof, saying he had GPS tracking on his phone.
They weren't hearing anything.
Instead, he was handcuffed and arrested for felony evading arrest.
So here I am with this felony evading arrest, you know, hanging over my head. My livelihood, everything's.
Do you want to see how much money you're eligible for? If you were in a car crash within the last 2 years.
Less than 24 hours after a chaotic arrest, Newark Mayor Ras Baraka is back in the public eye defending his actions. Tonight, the Department of Homeland Security released body cam footage of the moments federal officers arrested the mayor for allegedly breaking into Delaney Hall. The agency blurred the faces on the video. Mayor Baraka claims the new facility there is operating illegally. Addie Guajardo spoke with the mayor and has the latest. Mayor Ras Baraka is now facing a trespassing charge for allegedly entering an ICE detention property illegally. He described his arrest as humiliating, stressful, and even depressing. Just hours after the mayor took our questions, hundreds of his supporters came out here to Foley Square to show their support for Mayor Baraka and to fight for due process. This moment captured on camera shows the instant federal agents arrested Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ras Baraka outside of Delaney Hall, a new ICE facility.
They made a decision to arrest me. They made a decision to violate me. They made a decision to humiliate me, to put me in cuffs, and told the people to take me to the ground. Thank God the Office of Homeland Security didn't do that.
Baraka shared his story this morning outside of an event in Newark. He was held for hours Friday night by the Department of Homeland Security before being released and charged with trespassing. According to court documents, the mayor unlawfully entered and remained on Delaney Hall property. In a press release, the Department of Homeland Security accused members of Congress of storming the gate and breaking into the facility illegally. Tricia McLaughlin, the Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs for DHS, told CNN they've obtained video of Congress members body slamming ICE officials.
It's disgusting.
She says an investigation is underway and more arrests could be on the horizon.
Nobody from ICE was slammed on the ground. We didn't storm the place. So all of it is a lie.
The mayor pushed back, saying he was invited onto the ICE property and stayed for over an hour.
Somebody allowed me to go in there. I didn't climb a fence. I didn't kick the door down.
He claims no one said a word to him while on property. But the interim U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey posted on X that the mayor ignored multiple warnings to remove himself.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Dozens attended a rally outside of Foley Square.
What happened yesterday to Mayor Baraka is wrong, it's distressing, and it is cause for action.
To show their support for Mayor Baraka.
If they can do that to elected officials, none of us is safe.
The mayor's opponents in New Jersey's governor's race also came to his defense.
The good news is he's out, right? Again, but the bad news is there's plenty others who aren't. And I think the point is we all have to stand here in solidarity and keep fighting back.
Baraka says he will continue his fight against the company running the ICE facility.
Where you called this facility illegal and dangerous. Can you explain why?
Because we haven't inspected it properly. We haven't been in it. So we have to say that it's dangerous.
DHS claims the facility's permits are valid and have been cleared.
The mayor says he was treated with dignity and respect while in custody and fully cooperated with authorities. Baraka is also running for governor of New Jersey. In Lower Manhattan, Addie Guajardo, CBS News, New York.
You've always loved making things. You could say, handmade.
Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Last week, an unnamed Cincinnati police officer shot and killed 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. The next day, Ryan's father, Rodney Hinton Jr., ran over a police officer, Larry Henderson, killing him. Investigators say Rodney watched the body camera footage of Ryan's death just hours before the crash. In the video, just 6 seconds passed between when 4 people jumped from a suspected stolen car, running from police, and when an officer shot and killed Ryan. 6 seconds passed before they jumped from the vehicle and when the officer shot and killed him. Now, here's the deal. According to the police officers, Ryan was running away from them and he had a gun. Follow me, fam. He was running away from them. He booking. You know, he jumped out of the car, the stolen car, and he's booking it, right? And then he turns and points a gun at the police while he's running. He turns and points the gun at the police. Now, they allegedly recovered the gun that Ryan allegedly had, right? Now, this is what I want to know, fam. With all of these cases of people running from the police with a gun, how many times do these people who have a gun, because you know, if you got a gun and you're running from the police, why would you have the gun where they can see it? Why would you pull out a gun? Why would you have a gun running from the police, have that gun visible, knowing that the police shoot when they see guns, right? They shoot when they think they see a gun. They shoot when they think they don't see a gun. They shoot. Why would you display a gun, right?
I'm living my life.
Now, I can tell you what do happen oftentimes. The police plant guns. That's right, I said it. They plant guns all the time. They have throwaways all the time. Because I just can't see it. They try to, he can't have it both ways. He can't be this dangerous, armed and dangerous person, but then don't display how dangerous he is. He don't show you how dangerous he is. Y'all just always end up on top. Always. The guy never turn around and shoot. He never turn around and shoot. The police is always the ones to get the shots off first.
It's Bravo Rama at Car Bravo, our biggest event of the year, going on right now.
Just the life we live, man. What happened to justice? What happened to this thing called justice? Man, we ain't gonna never be able to see a dream, huh? I've just been dreaming. I guess that's all I can do. None but this fantasy about the freedom, mistrust, understanding, all that bad behind the wink of an eye. So our lives. Who this trap rapper? It's me. Kod Testimonies. I'm out here rapping, I'm out here trapping. Ooh, I'm trying to live my life. Coming at me like a football team, trying to take me out for anything. Legal charges. ICE, DOJ, Homeland Security. Who that? Ooh, there they go. Everywhere we go, detain. And if not, they gon' kill you on sight. I must lose my sight, I'm in mind. Every time I grab this microphone, once again it's on. Here come the police after me in the trap. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no justice out for us. It's nothing but hell itself. Cell or hell. Ain't no time for order. Ain't no order in an unjust system. Injustice for all. No justice, no peace, y'all. Young Kod Testimonies, the best underground trap rapper in North Texas, nigga. I don't need nothing except my fucking freedom. Please.
Hey, TikTok, it's Alan Walker, and if you want